what's up?
Hey, what's up, everybody? It's David Cola here.
What's my intro?
Oh, what's up, friends and fam? My name is David Cola, and I play the drums. Ta-da!
So this is my friend Tosh. We met a long time ago. He had very, very long hair. But now he's all grown up and now he's taller than me and he's freaking ripped and doesn't wear shirts anymore.
I never wear shirts.
We're gonna talk to Tosh. I'm gonna interview him and ask him about his life story because he's 18 and he's doing more stuff than I am. So I thought I'd ask him for advice. But first we're gonna shed and then we'll talk about it. Cool?
Alright, guys.
I'm here with Tosh, the drummer. Yeah, you guys should know him. If you don't know him, go follow him on Instagram. He just shed a lot. It was good. He's better than I am. Tosh is 18, right?
Yeah, 18.
Yeah. He's 18. He's better at drums than me.
Well,
and it's crazy, and I'm very jealous, and I'm very upset, but it's okay. I still love you.
I feel the same way after playing with you, bro.
Alright, so basically, I'm interviewing Tosh, but the reason I'm interviewing him is because he's more far along in the music life and career than I am. And so I basically want to get his advice, and I want him to share his story. So maybe it'll inspire one of you to do something cool with your life.
Yeah.
So like, homie's 18, but he's touring around the world, and he's doing cool stuff. Yeah, I want to hear your story, dude. From the start.
Like of drums for me?
You.
Oh yeah, of the start of me. Okay.
Just give a little background, and then... Yeah.
Okay, so I grew up in a very musical household. My dad is a drummer. He's really good. And I just always had drums in the house. And they got me my own drum set when I was 2 years old. And I just could not stop playing. Like, I was always playing it. I learned how to play a drum beat. My dad would, like, turn on music. You know, he would turn on Snoop Dogg, Doggy Style, and I would just, like, play the album from front to back. And then he would turn on, like, Motley Crue's Greatest Hits, and he'd be like, all right, now play this. So my whole life, it was just like that. Like my dad was just like listening to everything, and so I was always playing everything. Yeah, that's really how I got started, and like going to see him play all the time and stuff.
How old were you?
Well, I started when I was 2.
2 years old, ripping gospel chops.
Not that, but yeah, I mean, I just got so into it, and I just got obsessed. So then when I was like 10 years old, I learned about Thomas Pridgeon, and that changed everything. Because then I learned how to put my hands and feet together for a fill, and I was like, this is the coolest thing ever. I became obsessed with Thomas, everything he did. I knew everything about him, every video of him I had seen. I was probably like 12 or 12, I think. I want to say I was 12, but I went to go see him. He was playing a NAMM after party, and I wasn't old enough to get in, but I still was going to go because it was right down the street from my house. And I was going to try to meet him, and my dad ended up like holding me up in the window because it was at a bar, and so he like held me up in the window, and like I watched Thomas play with the Memorials all night, and it was so rad. And I ended up meeting him, like, and he knew who I was because I had posted some Instagram videos, and I would like tag him in all of them. Like, that's the whole reason I started posting Instagram videos.
No way.
Like, I literally only started posting Instagram videos
just so you can
just so I could tag Thomas and be like, look what I know how to do. I stole this from you. Look, I know how to do this because of you. And he would like start following me and liked it, and I like lost my mind. I was like, this is the coolest thing ever. My favorite drummer just started following me on Instagram. Yeah, man. I went to the show, I met him, and he was just like the coolest dude ever. And I was like, I know you're doing a drum clinic next week. And he was like, yeah, are you coming? And I was like, yeah, I think so. And he was like, definitely come, and then I'll let you play. And so I came, and he let me play in front of everyone.
What?
And I was like, I felt like the coolest person ever, dude. I was like, I am so cool right now. I just played in front of people at a Thomas Pridgeon drum clinic. Yeah, I was 12. By then I was 12. Yeah. So that's like how I really got into that. And I felt like that's when I started to get like good at drums-ish, you know, like to learn stuff.
Yeah. And did he sort of like take you under his wing at like sort of that point? And
For sure. For sure. He was posting videos of me, posting pictures of me and stuff. Yeah, he just took me under his wing. He would like at NAMM, and anytime I saw him, he would just like take me around, introduce me to people. You know, I would go see him play whenever he was in town. And, you know, I took lessons with him for years, you know. I think the last lesson I took with him, I was 15 or something like that. 15 or 16. It was like right before I started touring. It was the year, I was like 15.
Wait. You started touring at 15?
At 16.
At 16.
So 16, yeah. I got my first major touring. My first major touring gig was Nick West. I started playing drums with her when I was 16. I auditioned on my 16th birthday. 3 weeks later, we were on tour.
How'd you get that audition?
Okay, so I was posting Instagram videos. I posted a cover of a Nick West song. That was my favorite Nick West song, which, by the way, we never played live. It's my favorite Nick West song.
Yeah, that's so sad.
I know,
That's
right?
really sad.
It's called "Do What You Gotta Do." That's my favorite one. And I posted a cover of it. I tagged her and stuff, and she reposted it on Instagram, and was like, "Love this," and put like a heart. And I was like, "She just posted me on her Instagram." Like, I was like, my dad was like, "Oh, watch, she's gonna ask you to play drums for you," and I'm like, "Oh, don't say that. You're gonna jinx it," you know. Like, I was like, "Oh, you know," and then her sister, who is her background singer, one of her background singers, like DM'd me and was like, "Hey, can you send me a video of you playing along to this?" And I was like, "Okay." And it was a video of Nick and Mono, and I was like, maybe she wants to make a video with me. Like, that'd be cool if she wants to post a video with me. And so I did, you know, and then it happened again. Like, her sister would ask me to send another video, like 2 days later or something like that. It just like kept going on and stuff. And then she's like, "Don't tell anyone, but Nick West is going to be looking for a drummer. Would you be interested in auditioning?" And I was like, "I would love to. Like, please, yes, I'm there." And I went and I learned every Nick West song, every live video, every different arrangement of everything. Like, because, you know, she plays everything different every night. Not like completely different, but there's little subtle changes every night. Yeah, so I would learn like every live video, every live arrangement that I could find, every recorded version. And then she goes, "Learn 7779311 by Morris Day and the Time," which, if you don't know, is one of the hardest drum beats to play, because it's half Prince on a machine and half Jelly Bean, I believe, is the one who originally played it.
Damn.
So it's 2 different grooves, but she goes, "Play them together," and I was like, "Okay, I don't know how to do that," but I was like, "All right, yeah, no problem." And then she's like, "And learn The Chicken by Dave Weckl," and I'm like, "So you mean to tell me I just learned all these Nick West songs, and I don't even need to do it?" So a good friend of mine, David Myers Jr., who, I don't know if you know him. Yeah, David, for some reason I knew that he knew how to play 7/7/93/11. Like, I don't remember why I knew that, but I knew that, and so I texted him. I was like, "Can you come down, or I can come to you or something, and just like teach me how to play this?" And he was like, "Why?" And I was like, I have an audition and they want me to play that." And he's like, "Whoever's asking you to do that is insane." Like, and he came down, he showed it to me. And The Chicken isn't like, parts aren't hard, it's just a lot of parts to remember. So I was like, I can do that, I just need to practice it a lot. And so I did that, and then her music director emailed me and was like, "Cool, so auditions are going to be on Thursday, April 6th. And I was like, "That's my birthday. That's awesome." Like,
so your 16th birthday.
So my 16th birthday, and I went, "Oh, and also, by the way," he told me, he goes, "Learn these 3 songs." And they were 3 Nick West songs that I already knew perfectly. And I was like, okay, so I didn't even need to learn those other songs. Which was like, I just spent so much time learning these songs. I was so stressed out. Like, my mom was even like, "I've never seen you this, like, worried." I'm like, "Well, because it's hard to do." Like,
exactly, yeah.
It's not easy to do. So I was, you know, and then I did it, and I went in there, and I definitely thought I didn't get it, because I didn't feel like I played very well, and she didn't seem like super interested maybe, but I mean, that's also like, I could tell she was tired. They just flew in from the Philippines like the day before or something like that, and I was just like, I don't want to annoy her, I don't know what to do. Also, pro tip for auditioning, I knew the rehearsal space that it was at, AMP Rehearsal in North Hollywood, and I knew, and I was like, "Really? Auditions are going to be there? Okay, cool." I got a room for 2 hours before. They said, "Auditions are from 12 to 4, what time do you want to do?" And I said, 12, I want to be the first audition. And they were like, "All right, cool, you're the first audition." And I got a room from 10 to 12, and I went and I just warmed up there, because I didn't want to get up super early here. So I was like, I'll drive there first, then I'll warm up there. And I just practiced stuff, just went through them like it was a normal day. And I ran through the songs a couple times, and then I walked out like 10 minutes before my audition, and I saw them walking in, and I was like, all right, cool. And I went in and I auditioned, and it was like I was totally warmed up, as prepared as I could be. And then I just didn't feel that good about it. I was just like, oh, that didn't go super well.
Yeah, I've been in the same position.
And I was like, well, whatever, you know, it was fun. I got to play with Nick West. It was so, you know, it was like fun. And I was like, I got to hang out with Nick West. That was so cool because I was a big Nick West fan. Like, I was a huge Nick West fan. And then, and then just like 3 weeks later, I was in Guitar Center getting guitar strings with my brother. And I got a phone call from Hubie, the music director, and he was like, do you want to join our band for the tour? And I was like, yes, definitely. And a week later we played like my first show with them, which was in Malibu actually, which was kind of funny. It was the Guitar Festival up in Malibu, which was pretty fun. Yeah, the Guitar and Blues Festival, whatever. It was so rad. But then like we did a few shows with Parliament Funkadelic and Macy Gray. We did the Atlanta Jazz Festival, and that was my first tour ever.
That's dope.
Yeah, and then
your first tour.
I know, it was rad, and so I got to. It was a new experience, and then like a couple weeks later, we were in Russia playing to like 20,000 people. Like that was like my first experience. Cause like in the U.S., Nick West is popular, but in Europe, she's like the biggest star.
Celebrity,
you know? It's crazy. So my first like world tour that I did, like we were in like Serbia playing to like 20,000 people, and it was crazy.
You're 16 years old.
Yeah, I was 16, and it was so fun. I was like, you know, family was coming on tour with me and stuff. I was like bringing them to certain shows and stuff. But also it was my first time traveling like without my family, you know, which was crazy. Which was like,
you're only 16.
Yeah, I was 16.
I can't even.
It was crazy, man. And I played for her for about a year and a half, and that was like the most amazing experience ever. And then once I stopped playing for her, I got the Carly Hansen gig, which I think is a crazy story, just because it goes back so far.
All right. So tell me about that. What's the whole story?
Okay, I'm gonna give you the full story.
Yeah.
I don't usually tell this. I usually just say it's through a friend of a friend of a friend. You know, so it goes back to when I was, I think 11, and I went to my first NAMM show, and some guy came up to me and he was like, "Hey, I saw you playing. You're really good. I'm holding auditions for a band." He ended up knowing my dad. His name's Barry Squire. He does auditions for a ton of people. And he, you know, my dad did a bunch of auditions for him back in the 90s and early 2000s and stuff. And yeah, so anyway, I auditioned for a band. I didn't get it. But I met another kid who auditioned and also didn't get it. Then like a year later, he was like, "Hey, I want to start," or maybe like 2 years later, I think. And he was like, "Hey, I want to start a band." And we hired like this producer, Stacy Jones, and I was like, okay, cool. And I went and I met with them and I auditioned, and then I was like, okay, I don't really like it that much. I mean, I love the guys, the Hunted, they're a great band, but I was like, okay, I don't really think this is what I should do, and I didn't do it. But I met Stacy, who was a great guy, and then when I was 16, I was still playing for Nick. I got a phone call from Stacy that was like, "Hey, I think you should meet this manager friend of mine, Danny Rusin. Like, she's working with this new," or Russin. Sorry, I don't know how to say her last name, but even though I see her all the time. And she was like, or he was like, "You should meet her. She's working with this new artist, Carly Hansen. I think you guys would get along." Anyway, I like stalked Carly, followed her on Instagram and stuff. She followed me back. She was like, "Well, that's really cool." We talked a little bit, but then they hired another music director. Because Stacy was so busy with Troy Sivan, who he works for. He's on the same management. They got a different band, but they like kind of knew all the whole time that they wanted to get a younger. They wanted to like freshen up, but to get her started, because it was Carly's first show ever. Like, you know, she doesn't. She didn't like work and then slowly get like famous. She worked really hard on making music and stuff, but she had never like gigged around. I mean, she's from Wisconsin. Like, there's nowhere to play in La Crosse, Wisconsin.
Literally.
And they hired that band. And I was on tour with Nick West. My last tour that I did, but literally after my last show with Nick West, I had sent a video to Carly's manager because, sorry, kind of all over the place. I did a video for Zildjian with Kaz Rodriguez, which was really cool.
That was dope.
And when I met Carly's manager, who he introduced me to, I was like, just randomly brought that up, and she's like, "Oh, send it to me when it comes out." So it happened to come out on the day after my last show with Nick West. So I was on a flight home and I saw that it came out, and I was like, "Oh, that's cool." I got there the next day. I was like, oh, you know, I should send it to Danny. She told me to send it to her. I sent it to her, and then 2 minutes later, which it's a 15-minute video. She obviously didn't watch the whole video.
Yeah.
It was literally 2 minutes later. She responded saying, "Wow, great video, Tosh. Are you available this fall to do a tour with Carly Hansen, opening for Troye Sivan?" And I was like,
Bruh.
Yeah, I'm available. And then she's like, all right, cool. Let's figure out the logistics, like pay and stuff like that. And she, you know, we figured all that out. And I was like, cool, that sounds amazing, you know. And she was like, all right, lock it in, let's do it. And I was like, that was easy, okay. So now I'm going on tour with, you know, Carly Hansen opening for Troye Sivan. And
Wow.
it literally went
list,
straight from one gig to the next because it was like, I was, you know, on tour with Nick. You know, I knew it was going to be my last, you know, show or whatever. And I came home the next day, sent the video, and next thing you know, I had a tour booked for the fall. And I was kind of planning on being like, okay, I'm going to take the rest of the year off just to practice.
Get some
I
stuff
ended
done,
up doing a 6-week tour with her or something. I think it was like 6 weeks or something like that. And this guy that I had met on tour with Nick West on the summer before, Mario Biondis, we opened up for him at a festival in Italy. And he's amazing. He's so good. And he watched me there, and he like, I didn't know who he was, and I was just like talking to him, just like some normal dude and stuff, and like, and he's just like, you know, you're amazing. I love the way you play drums, and he was really cool and stuff. And I was like, I would love to play with you. He's like, really? You want to play with me? Like when I found out who he was, I was like, I just watched him play, and he was amazing. And he's like, you would want to play with me, and I was like, definitely. And he was like, all right, cool, you know. And then I got an email from his manager a few weeks later. And he was like, do you want to record a song for him? And I was like, yes.
Sure.
So I did that. I played on his song I Want to Be Free, which was awesome. And I heard that in Starbucks in Italy, which was really cool. I was like, whoa, that's me.
Whoa.
And yeah. And so I did that song, and they're like, the song's great.
How old were you at that point?
17. I was 17.
Yeah.
So I had just finished playing for Nick West when I recorded it.
Okay.
It was right before I went on the Carly Hansen tour that I recorded it.
Okay.
And so I recorded it, and then like right after I sent it to them, they were like, cool, do you want to do his tour that he's doing to support this song? And I was like, yes, please.
Sure.
Yeah, exactly. I was just like, I'm in. 100%. And I did. Like you know, it was that easy. You know, I went from Carly Hansen, and I came home for 1 week, and then I flew to Italy, and I had 2 weeks of rehearsals, and then 6 weeks of tour or something like that.
Dude.
Came home for 1 week and went on another tour with Carly for a month, and you know, it's just been nonstop.
Jeez.
You know, often, you know,
Yeah.
and then I'm trying to just like cover all like the how I got the different gigs, because I feel like people want to hear that stuff. You know.
Oh, exactly. I mean, that's the whole.
I feel like that's the
Yeah.
people want to know how to get gigs, and here's the different ways I got my gigs. You know.
That is literally insane.
It's been wild, you know, and then just a lot of other stuff has come up. I've, you know, recording for different people just through friends of people who hear of me, and they like me, they like the way I play drums. Luckily, I've just been lucky, like, to like kind of, I guess, have my own style that people like, and so when I get hired to play like that.
Yeah.
And it's not like
you get hired to be you.
Yeah, I don't have
anyone
to.
else.
I don't have to do any like hide in the back, wear all black, and just, you know, just sit back and play these parts. I get hired to, you know, go crazy like I like to do. That's what I always wanted to do, and that's just how I play. And I'm like, I don't want to change the way I play drums, so
Dude, that's the best
I'm
part.
not going to.
Yeah. Seriously. Yeah, I hope you enjoy these clips of us shedding and shed, and I hope you got some good advice. So Tosh _ the drummer on Instagram.
Yeah.
Any other plugs you got for me?
That's it. I mean, just hit me if you ever see that I'm in your city and want to play drums, or just hang out and get good food, because I also like to eat a lot.
Perfect. Hey, friends, fam. My name is David Cole, and I play the drums, and I'll see you, my friends and fam, later. Dab. Ready? 1, 2, 3.
Wait. Can I do the thing?
What thing?
The thing.
Oh, yeah, you can do it. Go.
Okay.
So, ready? 1. Okay, bye.
Gah!